I like it. It's like down tempo. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, somebody. Oh, that's the radio.
I like that.
Test. Okay. Yeah. Here comes Susan Bornstein. Long time no see. Long time no see. Welcome.
Hi.
I'll go away.
We're just waiting for people to come in. Okay. Come on, Bruce. It's time for you to come on. Here's the link. Hang on. Clear. Here it is. Boom. You might have to copy and paste it. Okay. Well, here they come. How do you join? Just hit this link right here. Paste. Boom. Okay. Let me turn this music down.
Hi, Susan.
Hi.
I'm not sure we've been acquainted. Hello.
Possibly not.
Hello.
Sisterhood. Y'all are from the same sisterhood.
I missed the silent meditation.
What was that?
I missed the silent meditation. I didn't
my
need to
God,
miss it, but I did.
It was incredible.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
I was more of an observer in the first two, and this one I felt it. It was very cool. It really was. Here, we'll kill the music. So what's happening, Susan? What's going on?
Oh my God. I don't know, probably nothing and everything. I'm going traveling. I'm going to see my family in Montreal without a vaccine. It was like this enormous decision, and I finally made it, and I'm doing it, and that's it. And that's what I'm supposed to do. It seems like huge, but it's really not that big.
To thine own self be true. That's the way this thing's working. Anybody wants to come in, the link is on the original post in the comments, and it should be in the comments of whatever platform you're watching on. You might have to copy and paste it. You might not be able to just click it. Joining is an option. Yes. Joining is an option. I don't know who that was.
But a fun option.
I don't know who that was. It's on one of the Facebook platforms.
And I've been watching you lots and lots and lots and listening to Franco and just, lapping it up.
Yeah, he's something else, isn't he?
He certainly is.
What's up, Delia?
What's up? I didn't know I was going to come in.
You didn't? It looks like Dave.
I just got out of the gym and I was walking out. I saw the stream, and then right when I was about to get into the car, I see 222, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm going on." Okay.
What about you, Christy? What's happening with you?
Oh man, I have been in a funny mood all day, just laughing my ass off at everything. It's like it's like a contagion. I can't stop. It's so ridiculous. I love it. There's so much goofiness and just joy. I don't know. It's just like silliness. That's kind of what the energy feels like for me.
It's funny that you say that, because that's exactly what I was feeling through the meditation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes. And I was having so much stuff going on the screen. So I only had 4 people on the screen, and Todd was one of them. And Ganesh was over at Todd playing with him, putting his trunk on his shoulder, on his head. And I just couldn't, okay, there's too much stuff going on. So I had to keep refocusing back to me and just feeling the moment. And just whenever I look over, he was just being playful. And it was a reminder of becoming playful again.
Wow.
We have intense moments, and then sometimes we have to break them up with moments of laughter.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you go, Christy? Were you there?
Honestly, I didn't feel like I could. I was like, I was going to be that disruptive kid in class. braiding people's hair while they're trying to meditate, so I just had to spit it out.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to let them know. Or copy.
Susan, where are you located?
I live in British Columbia.
Oh, nice. Whereabouts?
Where it's been really, really, really hot. On the Sunshine Coast near Vancouver.
Oh, nice.
It's been like 47 degrees and stuff. It's been wild.
Yeah, I'm in Alberta. I'm in Calgary. I'm actually moving back to BC at the end of the summer, but yeah, it was very hot here too. Like I'm sticky. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm toast. Yeah, it was very hot. I can't imagine being in water too. Like it just makes it hotter.
And the forest fires start instantly.
Yep. Oh.
Ryan is I
sharing.
don't know what that's Ryan.
Ryan,
So
stop
we're just gonna get rid of that Ryan. We're gonna remove that Ryan. Boom. There's another Ryan in here, but he's not on the video. Do you hear that clicking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy.
What is it?
Ryan, if you can hear us, your broadcast software is hooked up and it's not working. There. See, this is the kind of crazy
Are
stuff.
we doing this again? Yeah.
See, that's Ryan. I don't know what he's doing.
Is he doing that on purpose or?
No.
No?
I say that's Ryan, but after these shows,
It could be anything.
yeah, that clicking noise is tripping me out.
Ryan, are you trying to?
No, that's hang on. Let's see.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you
Yes.
now, but we can't see you, and you got all this clicking coming in.
Wow, I don't know what the clicking is from, man.
You got
I
some
stopped-
galactic friends coming over?
Huh?
You got some galactic friends coming over?
Maybe. Oh, that's it. So this camera wasn't working. That's what it was.
Okay, and your mic is low. Your mic is a bit low.
My mic is a bit low.
Yeah.
There you go. There we go.
All right, I'll just get really close. What's everybody doing?
Sweating.
Hey, there's our friend from England, Geraldine. Hey, Geraldine.
Christy said that I would be getting $50 for coming on screen.
Yeah. I'll PayPal.
Yep.
Okay.
I PayPal you.
Geraldine, were you in the silent meditation?
No, I wasn't. And
That's cool. I just didn't know if you were. I couldn't remember if you were there or not. I know you were there before.
and I'm from Australia. I'm in Melbourne.
I thought you were in England when I met you.
No. Years ago.
Okay. Oh, okay. That was part of your story. Okay.
Those sounds are still happening, hey?
Yeah.
It's happening no matter who talks.
I
I think that's our other aspect, and I'm serious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you get dolphin sounds on your show. Sometimes you get clicking sounds. You know, it's always something new.
Whoa.
Jeez. Did you hear that tuba?
No. Is it me?
It's just a weird episode of X-Files.
Yes, it is actually.
It's not anybody.
Okay.
Okay, see, now it's gone.
Okay, now it's gone.
Don't do anything that might disrupt the click gods.
We need a sacrifice.
Somebody just.
I get clicking in my ears when I wake up. I get strange clicking in my ears. I wonder if
Yeah.
it's related. I don't know. Could be.
Whoa.
So, I missed the Soulogy Fest. I'm very.
What was that?
Can y'all hear
Go
me?
ahead. Just go through it. Just walk through it.
I was gonna say I missed the Soulogy Fest, man, but I saw everybody online with their little meetups and such, and it was so happy of a feeling to get to experience that, through everybody,
Yeah. It was very cool. It was very cool, and I've got the 40 hours of tape, and I'm cutting it up into little excerpts to share.
Oh, you're cutting it up for us. Oh,
Yeah.
chopping it up, mixing it into some fine programming.
Somebody said they were in the silent meditation. Holy crap! What the hell's going on?
My hands are up here.
Everybody's up.
Everybody show your hands.
Mhm.
Not us.
Okay. Now your seat. No, just kidding.
Oh my goodness.
Sounds like someone's eating Doritos.
Oh, my bad. My cockroaches released.
Wow.
You have pet cockroaches too?
Whoa.
You see?
That's better.
Wow.
Somebody popped out again.
That's so
neat.
crazy.
So, okay. So, Chrissy, you were in a silly mood all day.
Oh, yeah.
Susan's going to Montreal without a vaccine or without a whatever. And let's see. There's Robert and Geraldine.
Robert's in the house.
Yeah.
What's up?
I think it was Robert was doing the clicking and then playing a practical joke on us.
Yeah, no, I was trying to get in. It was probably feeling my energy. Like, how do I do this?
Wow, this is crazy. Geraldine, what part of Australia are you in? Good God.
Melbourne.
Oh, you're in Melbourne. You're in the
Yeah.
you're in the least restricted place in the world.
Currently. But just wait, we'll be back in lockdown. The government can't wait. They really want us back under lockdown. But it's okay. We just get on with it.
I wonder when the people are going to start like doing like they did in London and just walk out the door.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, we are so compliant. I'm really surprised because Aussies have this reputation for, you know, being kind of rough and ready for anything. Crocodile Dundee, if anyone can remember that. And, you know, when the government says, we've got this once in a lifetime pandemic, everybody lock yourselves up, wear your masks, check in wherever you go, and all of this stuff, everybody just said, okay, all right, we'll do as we're told because the government knows best. And you get these pockets of people who are seeing different, but by and large, we are really very, very obedient. And I'm so surprised. I'm just waiting for it because it's going to come. I mean, this massive energy is being held down, right? And it'll just explode probably in the next couple of months.
Well, it's already started in Australia is part of the crown. And, you know, in London, when they tried to reinforce it or extend it, they just walked outside and nobody abided by it, which is amazing.
It's so beautiful, so beautiful. But I think we've got a lot of, we're actually not a huge society if you think about it. There's only 21 million of us or something, right? And we're all spread out.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a collection of big small towns, if you know what I mean, in Australia. So, you know, we all still have respect for the police. We still have respect for the politicians because it just feels like we know these people. So if the police are going to come out and enforce rules, we don't actually, you know, we still see it like it's a neighborhood and we're going to just all keep carrying on, you know, and keep the neighborhood going almost, right? We've got this kind of attitude of like, we'll just push through it. Everything will be all right. We'll come out the other side. And there isn't enough, I think, of this sense of like, that the government is a big unknown, or the government is, you know, it could be how should I say, I'm not going to use the word I'm not going to use a negative word, but the government could really have negative intent towards us. We just don't have that in our minds that could be a possibility.
Now, is it like worse than it's portrayed on the media, or is it about the same over there? Because it seems like everything on the media that they're portraying, especially in Australia or parts of it, are really, really, really messed up.
I'll just try to hide.
What up? How come I can't see you guys? Hold on.
Test. Skyler, you have a mic. I mean a speaker on. Skyler.
Someone's like,
Skyler, you have a window open.
No. I'm gonna join on my computer. I'll be back.
All right.
okay.
Yeah.
So-
So Ryan, the COVID cases aren't as bad as it's being made out. Like, we only have a few cases here and a few cases there, but there's this huge fear that it's going to go out of control and we'll end up like the UK or India. Or that's what the media is feeding us. But it's like 30 cases in New South Wales and they're closing down everything.
Well, some of the things that I was seeing over there when we were really in the really first stages of the pandemic, were when the policemen were coming to people's houses and arresting them in front of their kids and stuff. I felt like that was a little bit too much and over the top, and almost meant to be portrayed as the government overstepping them to cause, riots or whatever.
Do you know, if they'd carried on like that, because they stepped back, if they'd carried on like that, what Todd was saying, about the Londoners just being fed up and saying that's enough, we would have done that.
Yeah.
Because it was bad, locking people up in public housing towers, like you said, the police going in and arresting that pregnant woman because she posted something on Facebook. That's all of that was crossing the line. Yeah. But they kind of stepped back and reasonably cleverly so. I don't know if it was planned, but it's if they continued on like that, we would have really rebelled much sooner.
Well, I saw one 2 nights ago, and it was a very small village. They didn't say how big it was, but they did say it was almost like remote, like a little town in the middle of nowhere. And there was 3 big cops, and they went in and arrested a shop owner who would not enforce the mask mandate. So they're putting her in the paddy wagon, right. And this guy was observing. These people were observing. One lady was filming, and one guy, and he was a pretty big Australian guy. He was an old guy, though. He was probably 65 or 70. And he was just saying, you shouldn't be doing that. Who do you work for, the people or the government? And he was not being physical. And they grabbed him, threw him up against the van, threw him on the ground, and arrested him. And then the lady that was filming, who was saying a little bit, not a lot, she was saying, hey, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. They grabbed her phone and said, you're going to be arrested too. So, it's likely that, yeah. Okay, you're back.
It's happening. It will happen. As the lockdown spreads past Melbourne into New South Wales, Queensland, other places, and the police begin to act up all around Australia, then we might get that reaction.
Yeah, yeah. So, hey, Robert, what's been up with you? How's it going with you?
Nothing much. Living life and a lot of. Am I echoing? Weird.
Check your.
Is this better?
Test.
Test. I think it's
no. Yeah, you're better off with the earbuds.
Oh dang. Okay.
You're better off with the earbuds because then you'll have sound waves echoing. What were you saying?
All right. Is it working now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just so pumped to be talking to you guys, honestly. I feel so much love being Christy and Ryan and Skylar, and Todd, all as well as you, Geraldine and Suzanne. I don't know you as well, but all of you in real time. It's exciting.
Right on.
Fun.
Yeah, but yeah, just a lot of dealing with these energies, meditating, so much stuff coming up for me very fast in my life, and then me having to kind of like deal with it, witness my ego take things on, and then like break down and then take on more stuff.
I'm liking your post though, Robert. Whenever something comes up like that, I notice right away that you start like really pointing out what's happening, and it's like you're figuring it out on the spot.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think, so what's really cool about that is it starts, anybody that's coming up new or just me, sometimes those posts really help. I'm going through the same thing many times a day, and I see someone's post going through either something, or they have maybe a different tool that I'm used to, and it becomes real helpful.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Yeah. It's powerful for me to post. Oh my God. Am I just like so broken up in sound? It sounds like that to me.
It's a little bit distorted, but we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, it's powerful for me to post because I see all of the different people's kind of reflections in them. And I experience this big feedback, and sometimes it's super pressureful, and like I feel just like it's almost like painful, like it's like my ego hurts so bad right now. But then other times it's like, okay, that really does resonate, that's good, and then I kind of work through it as I do that. So it's kind of almost like a spiritual practice, posting whatever I write. So.
Never-ending story. What about you, Skylar?
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
happening?
I was like, wait, what is this fun party? What's happening?
You came to the right party.
I got Rosie with me tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you. I just finished doing a live with Jason, and I have feedback too. Thank goodness.
Wow.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Skylar, you saw that show with Amanda Smith, right?
I saw that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I really believe that there's a physicality occurring if it happened on y'all's, and it's been happening a lot since I got back from Sedona. Just different things.
That was wild. She was the one that sounded like a dolphin, right?
Yeah. But see, the going into it, I was confused. I had to ask a couple of people what's going on. But like when she started actually talking, something happened. It's really weird. But I was no longer trying to interpret the words, but whatever was feeling was coming across. It felt right in there.
Yes, that's what I felt.
Several times during it, I got a little teary-eyed, and for no reason.
Yeah.
Other than it just sounded very like music to me, like a conversation, but a musical.
Yeah. My heart was exploding. Did you, Susan? Did you say you saw it or you didn't see it?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
you saw it too. Yeah.
Wow.
Did you?
I thought that you did so well with it. It was just like there's nothing you can say is wrong. If it's happening, what is it? Like It's real. You can't eliminate anything. You have to accept everything that is and know what it is. I thought you dealt with it just so well.
Well, I hadn't heard anybody say their heart expanded until Ryan just said it. Mine was doing it. I saw her heart expand. And today when we had the silent unification, it was the first time I actually felt something. I observed things before, but I felt the same heart feeling, that same heart expansion during that silent unification a while ago. Christy?
I knew I was next. Just kidding.
I'm just trying to keep it in a circle. Y'all jump in, whatever.
Do I have any feedback? I'm not using headphones, and okay, cool. That's good. Oh, yeah, that was a really crazy experience. It was sort of like light language almost.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, it just was like, I didn't know what was going on, but I could understand it on some level, if you know what I mean. And yeah, back to what we were saying before, I was talking to Skylar this week, and I told her that like the lessons are so instant. It's like as soon as I experience something, it hasn't taken me much time to see what the issue is and then correct it. It's like insta lessons. Seriously, it's like ramen soup, like those noodle packets. You just pour the hot water on. You're like, oh, my lesson is ready. Like I understand.
You got to turn that into some kind of ramen soup for your soul or something like that. Instant lessons in a jar. You know?
Instant lessons. Yeah.
Add that onto the account right there.
Yeah, perfect. And the powder is just like
powder. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like I'll experience something, and the reflection is almost like someone is sitting next to me, going, "Hey, look, there it is." It's almost like I'm talking to higher self me, and she's like hearing my head, and she's like, "Hey, look, that's what that is." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay." Integrate.
Can everybody relate to that? I can totally relate to what y'all are saying. You know what I mean? Susan, have you been having this happen to you where you're, what would you call that? Just kind of like, there's an awareness, there's some ego death, and then you expand. And yeah, this whole thing with the split, the human and the higher self, you know, or the soul or whatever you want to call it. Have you had that happen, Susan?
I can't tell if they're splitting or integrating.
Well, everything's a paradox, right?
Yeah, it's hard to. I hate the split thing because first of all, I figure I'm going to get left out. Everybody's going to go to New Earth, and I'm going to be sitting here in hell. But I don't think that's true. But I had that fear when I was a kid, I think. But yeah, but more separation. We're all going. Of course, I don't know when we're all going, and I don't know how or where. But yeah, it's all one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I seem to be remembering things that like aren't mine, that are humanities, that are maybe more than humanities, and then it all seems to fall. Yeah. And then I know stuff, and then there's a crystal clear me.
Yeah.
Which I wish I used to experience more, but it's still there. Yeah, and it's all just merging into one thing, or it's getting absorbed. All the old stuff is getting absorbed. It'd be nice if only the crystal clearly was left. That would be lovely.
But then the mud would be nice without the contrast.
Exactly. Well, I think
like when I watch your show, Todd, I feel sometimes when I watch your shows, Todd, that everybody's sort of moving into the 5D world. And this is why I resonate so much with what Franco says, because Franco talks about the organic 3D and the 5D. And I feel like I have really clearly chosen to stay in the organic 3D. So I'm having trouble, real challenges, sort of expanding too far. And I even feel like I've got blocks in me, you know, like blocks in my third eye chakra or something that's just preventing me from getting into 5D. And I've just decided to relax totally about it. And the last little while, I've been working a lot in 3D, just in transformation. I mean, like you may remember, Todd, I'm a lawyer, right?
Yes.
And I quit my job with a law firm, but I still work in the law. And now I'm working with people who are trying to transition from old type law to new type law.
Oh wow!
And I do a podcast around it, and it's really interesting work. But it's super, super challenging, right? Because we're working from turning the inverted into organic.
Wow.
What I mean is that all of that hijacked systems are going to go, and we're just literally awakening people one by one almost to the different possibilities. But these people are just not ready, and I don't want to sound hierarchical, but there are lots and lots of people who want to get into an organic 3D type world where everything's straightforward and full of love, but just aren't ready for 5D type stuff. And I just couldn't see themselves teleporting, doing the stuff that you and me are doing. It's just way too far.
Well, you know, you bring up a good point, because there's a big difference if you have an inverted 3D an organic 3D and organic 5D, and we wake up and everyone's talking about 5D like that's the success, the bar of success or something. But if you take out the inverted 3D and 5D both are cool. Who's to say you have to be in one or the other? Maybe the split people were talking about was the inverted versus the organic. But I'm glad you brought this up because it's okay, right? It's okay to, to stay in 3D. We have this choice, we do with everything, with anything.
And it's going to be really fun. Because it's like the 3D, sometimes Franco talks about, the way that this world was supposed to be. It is actually going to be really fun because we're going to do things in the physical. We're going to enjoy the physical. We're going to enjoy what we eat, how we live, the touch, the smell, everything purely in the physical, but without all of this crap that we've been living with for how many thousands of years, and cleaning it up is going to be kind of a fun job in itself. And loads of people are on board. They just don't really know that what they're doing. They don't really realize.
I agree with that.
They're cleaning up the inverted.
I agree with that. Like what you're doing, you can't underestimate, because if you think about it, the transformation has to occur in every cell of the body collective. So in every part of the spectrum, somebody's doing the work somehow, some way. But I think you really bring up a good point. Ryan, you put your hand in the air when she said what she said.
Well, it's because I'm starting to become finally comfortable in the 3D. When I first started waking up in 2017, all the rage was 5D, and let's ascend. And I was like, but we're human here, and we're supposed to integrate this stuff as human heart into the mind. So I'm finally starting to see people talk about this and be okay with being where they are in their human physicality with maybe the 5D consciousness.
Yeah, this is a great point. I've not heard anyone do that.
5D consciousness.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a great point.
Wait, somebody's got the speaker
video
because it's delayed. Now it's off. But what I was going to say is, I haven't heard anybody say it like Geraldine said, and like you're saying. I was talking on 2 or 3 shows in the past few days, where because I guess I had understood it myself or through doing the show, that who's to say it has to be one or the other. And now that you've kind of broke it down, Geraldine, and because if you don't have the inverted 3D, then there really is no issue. So it's really, I think, a question of, and he talked about this on the previous show, is there going to be an integrated experience, or is it at some level going to be a separate experience? Because they'll all be together by his prognostications in 2035. And I'm just giving you what he said. But the point for me, and I was talking about it earlier in the week, was why can't you be, there's choices that I've made and in reflection gone, well, maybe that was okay to stay in this 3D part of it, or up to this point. But I don't know. Now you take the things that are happening that y'all are talking about with the ego, like Christy was talking about, and you take into account all the expansion everybody's talking about, including not eating, changing habits, making changes of all sorts, the nausea, the sleeping, the not sleeping. Over the last 30 days, I've seen more people talking about it than I ever have before. Skylar, you got anything?
Yeah, well, I just finished doing a live with Jason earlier on demystifying spirituality, which was like,
that was good.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like it's such perfect timing with this conversation, because what's coming up for me is like, I don't know. Sometimes I just don't even want to like think about this 3D versus 4D versus 5D. Like I just want to like live my life and just do what's in front of me. And like, why are we so stressed out about this? You know, like let's just have fun. Like I love Christy's comments, and Ryan was up in the chat, and I'm like rewatching it and just dying laughing. Like you guys are hilarious. Holy shit! So
sorry. We bring the show to you.
There's a whole other show going on at the same time for sure.
We're available for
I can't wait to do our live, Christy. That's all I have to say.
I know.
We're gonna break some time again or something.
I come to like there's two things. There's being in 3D, like, and it's not inverted, but if I'm in 3D and it's not inverted, then I'm dreaming it. And if I identify with dreaming, then I'm getting closer and closer to just being light and weaving my light. And so it's almost like I could be both. Do I identify with what I'm dreaming or that I'm dreaming?
You can have one foot in the door of the 3D and one foot in the door of the 5D or 4D. 4D is the dream.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I'm dreaming. I'm not the dream. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I identify with dreaming. It's like an activity. It's like an action. I am the action. I am not a thing anymore. Like I like that better.
Oh, I like that.
There's definitely different consciousnesses. Like you can actually sense when you're in one consciousness instead of the other, right? So I talk about, for example, if I'm talking to a bunch of people who are pretty far into 5D, and I'm talking about what's happening in 3D, I'll often say I'm reporting from 3D. You know, like this is what it's like on the ground here.
Like I can't wait.
It is. It's like being an interpreter or a translator. Or
I resonate with that. Yeah, I resonate with that a lot because I've experienced almost like being an intermediary. Like I'm learning all this information kind of from people who access these higher things. Sometimes I access these higher things, and they are starting to ground in me more, and I'm starting to feel like I actually am doing the work. But for a while, it was like, no, I just take all this information, embody it, and then I show up at like community college or something, and I just have like a slightly more enlightened conversation with my classroom. And it's like we all just kind of experience the upgrades. And it's like work or everywhere I go, it's like I'm bringing this information into this form, spreading it out kind of to my crowd in Massachusetts. And yeah, or at least that's how it was for a while. And now it's starting to feel like, oh, I'm actually like starting to lift up to a place where I feel like I'm playing in these higher groups.
It's sort of like midwifery. You know, it's like I don't know. That kind of resonated with me because I have no, like what you were saying today on that live with Jason Tyler. I just I have no desire to like transcend my body or be floating around in the ether. Like I want to be here for the human experience, the shit and the fun and the messy and the in between. Like I want to be here for that, and like, you know, it's not the same pain and the dark and the shadow. It's not the same experience, and the light is just so much sweeter once you know the dark so well. You know, just like simple things can be so much more enjoyable if you get to experience what it's like to be so close to like death, whether that's like physical death, spiritual death, like some sort of death, psyche death, whatever you want to call it. It's just, and I've been there so many times, and I'm just like, now it's just like looking up at the sky is just, it's so nice. And I don't think I would have been able to enjoy that had I not come so close to just like, I want to die. You know,
that's not saying that part is easy either, man.
No,
that if you're the first timer at a ego death and you don't have the tools, or you haven't had anybody to work with you to tell you how to overcome and come out of that darkness, that is some scary shit.
Terrifying.
Horrible. Now, 4 or 5 ego deaths down the road. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
You get some sort of like certificate. They're like, here you are. Congratulations. Yeah. Yes, you are a pro now.
More like 100, and then you're just like, oh, my ego is dying. This is a painful one. It's weird though. I notice I can like distance myself from it and be like, oh, you're really freaking out right now, Rob. But then I'm like, no, you have to remember to feel this. And then I'm like, ah. But yeah.
I love it so much. Yeah, I'm like a weird I'm in a weird place right now. As a few of you know, I'm moving. I'm kind of like coming out of a like shadowy place, a healing cave right now, and I'm moving kind of back into, I guess, like a 3D type reality. I'm going to be moving in with my mom. So that's just going to be such a spiritual experience, you know, maintaining just like this renewed version of me with all I've learned and like integrating it kind of back into society, the real one quote, you know, like it's going to be such an amazing test. And I'm so nervous, but also so excited to just kind of see in action, like if I can, but being able to like actually put into practice what I've learned, you know, in terms of judgment and holding compassion and compassion. Such an interesting.
The ultimate test is with your mom. See if everything that you've learned up to this point sticks. If it sticks with your mom, you did good, Christy.
Oh
yeah, I love how on the last live with Todd, you're like, yeah, I blocked all my family, and then now you're like, yeah, so I'm going right in there. Challenge accepted.
Right into the lion's den, man.
That download me like so instantly, and I was like, no. And it was like, oh yeah, you're going in. And I was like, no. So, hi, Jen.
Hello.
Oh,
We have a visitor.
Hey, Space
Are you
Monkey.
Space
oh my
Monkey.
God, people know that I'm a space monkey. That is so funny. I am actually at a party at Michelle Anderson's house in the back of Eric's truck to come in here and talk to you all.
Oh, wow.
We're at a 4th of July party. And I just wanted to come on and tell y'all I love you. I just want to say I love you. That's it.
Wow.
Love you too.
Love you too.
And I'm so proud of I was listening to you guys and I'm just really proud of everyone. We are all going through our process. And everybody's doing such a good job. And I'm really proud of, you know, all these beings that came in from a higher frequency and dropped into this human form to do their job. I see them just shining now, and I'm super excited about that. I'm very excited about it. So that's it. I'm checking out because I'm going back to the party.
Yeah. That was an entrance.
Love you. Bye.
Enjoy yourself.
So what's the 4th of July like? Like Canada Day, like didn't happen here.
Whoever next has
nobody celebrated it, just didn't happen. Everybody mourned for the residential school children who were murdered. They found a lot of graves, and then we just skipped Canada Day, which was very interesting. I liked it.
When was Canada Day?
2 days ago.
Ah.
July the 1st.
Did you know this?
Yeah.
Did you know this?
I'm honestly like I'm one of those people that hates fireworks every year because I'm always worried about the squirrels. So I was very excited that there were no fireworks for the squirrels. For sure.
There's been fireworks here for like every day all week. Like
really? Oh, okay.
They're just out of control in the parks near me. I'm just like, good Lord.
This is Texas. You know?
Yeah, how's Texas?
I can't
fireworks.
You can't tell if they're guns or fireworks.
Oh.
It's just always loud. But I'm very proud of my state right now.
Yeah, Texas is kicking ass.
Yeah, I haven't always been proud, man. I love the fact that we're not buying into this bullshit anymore, you know, and that the people who are running, I'll do the air quotes there, are actually showing some balls, you know. Florida's the same way. Yeah. Really happy I don't have to go into with a mask on anywhere in the state. And they will actually fine you if you try to mandate someone to wear a mask.
Wow.
Send some of that this way.
Yeah,
right?
Canada's like you know how Canadians are always like, they're polite, they're kind, all this stuff. We're just rolling over and just taking it. Like, we are not. Like,
please put your mask on me. Do it, okay?
It's kind of
weird. It's my Canadian accent.
Is that what that was? It sounded like a Mexican accent by a Mexican who can't speak like Mexican.
Like a Mexican trying to do a Canadian trying to do a Mexican accent.
I did not say it was good, okay?
Oh gosh.
Nobody says that up here.
When I went to Canada, when I was playing still in my 20s, I went to Canada to play in a band, and this lady told me I had a thick Texas accent. She said, "You got an accent, eh?"
Nobody up here talks like that.
Seriously.
Sounds like Garth and whatever his name is.
Totally.
Hey.
So, say in the last week, has anybody had any noticeable purging, physically or any other way?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me
like
too.
All the time.
I feel like since July started, though, the energy has been more, for me at least, I've been feeling like more momentum, and it's been feeling a lot more clear. Not to say there isn't still a purge, like physical stuff for sure. I'm like every day, I'm like, is there a day that there's not something there? You know, it's just kind of normal now. It's like, is it my stomach today? Is it my head? Like, you know, what's going on?
It's easier to notice when the purging is not happening.
Exactly. It's like, wait, what is this? Right? Yeah. But I don't know. Something's happening with July though so far. Like the energy just feels different, and it feels really good. It's also very heart bursty. I've had a lot of heart stuff going on.
Wow.
Yeah. Massive purging for sure. I mean, whether it's just like a quick cry or a quick like barf almost. It's just like whatever it comes out.
The last 2 weeks have been kind of that way, and I've actually messaged Christy telling, I don't know what happened. I'm in the shower and I just start crying out of nowhere. I'm starting to think of just my death of my grandmother, because she's over here. I'm taking care of her, and I've been building myself up for this to happen for 48 years, and I'm thinking I'm ready for it, but this thing pops up all of a sudden in the shower, and I'm like, where's this coming from? And then it turns into like a 3-minute ball, and I'm texted her right away, said, what the hell is going on here? This came out of nowhere, caught me by surprise. And what I'm starting to learn, since about 2017, is I'm starting to learn when this stuff happens to me, just let it go, let it happen. And, I let the cry come in, do its job, clear, whatever, and I'm back to normal. But there's been a lot of that stuff in the last 2 or 3 weeks for me. And I've seen a lot of posts, saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Shower cries are the best cries.
Yeah.
Shower cries, yeah.
It's like, are those my tears? Or is it the water?
Wipe anything off. You can blow your nose in the shower.
Yeah. No one can hear you.
No one can hear you.
It's like singing in the shower is also the best.
Yeah.
My neighbors can probably hear when I'm doing that though.
Why do you sing?
I love singing.
Yeah. Hey, has anybody experienced, I don't even know how to describe this, like, I wouldn't call it memories or code, or just like seeing yourself in a different form with a story, almost like you're watching, I can't really explain it, like a lineage. Like I saw these humans with dog heads. All right, hang on. So it was like dog heads. It was like a species of the human on the planet, and it just had like this connect. I don't know how to explain it. It just was kind of. I was just curious if, like, in theory, if we're getting all of our memory back, is anybody getting anything? It doesn't have to sound like that, but I mean anything at all that might fall into that category? Okay. I'm going to the psych ward.
Like, no, I was thinking the same thing with Anubis when you were saying the dogs.
Yeah. Well, that was part of it.
Yeah.
But it was non-Egyptian.
Okay.
And then the crazy thing is, I thought nothing of it, but then about 2 days later, I turn on YouTube and I'm flipping through something to just watch and process and lay on the couch. And there was this video about this group of men with dog heads.
What?
Yes, and I searched it, and there was 3 or 4 of them with some historical evidence, including, like, I think one of them was not Alexander the Great, William the Conqueror talked about having to kill 40,000 of them or something like that. I mean, it was several historic, but anyway, I don't want to get into the specifics of that. I just wondered if there was anything coming in any regard that's kind of like a wider consciousness of knowing. Right?
I could say I recently have been able to see souls, which is very interesting. Like I can tune into myself or tune into someone else and see their soul. I can also see people who don't have souls in their bodies, or people who have extraterrestrial souls, or like different things. So that's been a very trippy thing for me. I can also see like how their energy might be getting sucked out, like things with like, I mean, I've dealt with like Crohn's disease, like an autoimmune sort of thing. And so I recently have been able to more access what the actual problem is on a soul level, like how the energy is kind of like leaving me, which is giving me a lot more information as to how I can clear that up, which I've always kind of known, but I guess this is more of like a confirmation of like, here's what I actually need to do. So that's powerful.
Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. I just kind of was like asking questions to the universe or to my higher self. And then all of a sudden I was like, can I see? And then I just saw it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like Christy was saying how things are. Oh, sorry.
No, go.
I was going to say what you were saying earlier about like everything coming in so quickly, like the realizations. It's the same type of thing, like tapping into just those simple questions and the downloads that we get, like it's happening quicker and quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's not the same barrier that was there before. Like I can just ask and boom, here's the answer,
What's that called? Claircognizant?
It's very new. I don't know. I'm like hesitant to almost even share because I'm like, there's a part of me that goes, am I worthy to share this? But I need to let that
go. Don't let anything go that comes in. Or maybe another way to ask is like, regardless of what's coming in, are you finding that there's just a lot coming in, like a lot every day? It's more. Every day it's more. You can process it. It doesn't last very long, and it's almost hard to pick something out and say, oh, that's one of the things that I'm getting. You know what I mean? Can y'all relate to that? I'll be right back. Y'all keep going. Don't be shy.
He's going to the psych ward. He's going to check himself.
Todd just pieces out.
Well, I'm seeing dog heads, so see you later.
It's like, that's it. You guys are weird. This is the community I created.
It's like Donnie Darko with the rabbit. I've been having like a lot of weird dreams about past life lovers. It's really strange. Like I'll just be like, I'll wake up feeling like gutted, like I've just like left someone in like a dream state that I was in a relationship with. But it's nobody that I know in this lifetime, at least like from like what I can remember about their faces and stuff. Maybe it's like cool, but a lot of that in the last few months, it's been really strange. I didn't really remember until now.
That sounds super interesting though. Like I've been having dreams of like exes in this life, and I'm just like, go away already. I wish I was having some new people come in because I'm just still going through layers of this life stuff. So
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe it had something to do with the fact that I went on such a rampage in this lifetime with like man-eating guy, just like hurting men, and I just feel like maybe I'm like repenting for that in like a dream state or something, you know, like it's almost like I'm clearing some stuff up in the dreams. I'm not sure.
You think it's karma, the karmic, and you're clearing stuff?
Oh, for sure.
Someone else said that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm almost like going and like telling them about how badly I've hurt them, and then because I wake up and I feel like shitty about myself, I'm like, oh, what did I do? But then it kind of goes away, and it's strange. It's like I'm repenting for my sins.
It's so interesting that like when you said that, I could relate to like, because I know we've had talks about addiction before and stuff, and the like waking up feeling that shame and like feeling like shit. Like it's almost that. Would you describe it as like the same type of feeling, or?
Yeah,
guilt.
It's almost like it's almost like a dream hangover of like knowing that I messed up. I've tried right, and I'm not sure if it like helped or not in the dream, but it's always like a different person. It's strange. Man, I must have had a lot of that going on in past lives too.
Sounds like some really deep clearing.
No wonder I'm tired all the
time. Yeah. I've been having dreams of myself doing things that like I always have held myself back from, that I wanted to do in the moment, that I knew were like negative and would cause a problem. So it's like dreams of myself having that argument with that person, or dreams of myself like getting in a cuddle puddle or something with like a group of people. It's almost like I'm accessing whatever judgment I had around it in my dream state. It's just like, no, this is what this really is. Like I'm just exploring these different things that I saw, and I was like, no, but now I'm going into it.
Wow.
What about you, Todd?
In regard to what?
Have you been like, I don't know, we were just talking about like sorting out karma in our dreams. I was wondering what you think about that.
I do a lot of purging in my dreams. I haven't done much as much as I was doing like 2 to 3 months ago. Up till 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah, but the dreams, like I'll have a week and I'll remember them all, then I have a week I won't remember anything. But they all seem to have not like just a feeling of transformation, I guess. Like sometimes I can feel the purging or the releasing, and sometimes I'm, you know, like something like Robert's talking about. I'm in a space of basically creativity. But for me, it's just like a multifaceted, multidimensional at the human level. The body's really screaming loud. I will say that's the biggest thing overall of the many things since I got back from Sedona. It's the body is telling me what it needs, basically. And it's you know, Morgan says the light body leads, and I'm starting to understand that, because it's like if I eat something or whatever it is, my light body's the one I feel. Right? It's my light body's the one I feel. Like, for instance, I love spicy food, and I've found that when I'm eating 3 or 4 jalapenos, it doesn't feel good anymore. It like there's a sensitivity in my throat, and there's just different things happening. And so I've been juicing, you know, over the last 30 days, probably 25, 26 days. And I'm seriously considering, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do this because it feels like it's going to happen. I'm just going to try juicing for a 30-day period, just juice. Just like 6 glasses of juice a day. because one thing I will say is when I got back from Sedona, obviously, because of all the code we all picked up, there was going to be some purging. It only made sense. But I did the first 3 days I got here, I did 2 stretches of, 2 to 3 days where it was mostly all juice, and the purging was crazy. I mean, I was on my back most of the time, just I would say integrating. So it was like purging / integration. Really half the time on the couch in that first week, which probably was 100 hours. 50 of those hours I was just staring at the ceiling with no TV, no music, nothing. And I couldn't even tell you what I was thinking about, because I don't think I was thinking anything, but I heard several times integration. You're not going anywhere. Sit down, lay down. Yeah.
That's some gangster stuff, man. That's some gangster stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would have thought?
It's very humbling. It's very humbling.
Yeah.
To me. What do you say, Robert?
I was just going to say, who would have thought the most powerful thing to do is nothing?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Word.
I've got to constantly keep doing something because this doesn't feel right. I'm a human. I'm supposed to be doing something at every second of my life, whether it's a phone in my face or, texting, chatting someone up,
Yeah, getting those addiction itches, like, I need to do this. I need to know.
Silence is very scary. The first couple times you go without a phone. Try deleting Facebook for a day. Try just staying off it for a day. That's hard as hell.
Try turning your phone off at night and leaving it in the other room. I do that about half the time, and I probably would do it all the time, but I need the phone next to me, so when I wake up, I can know, like, what time is it? Do I have a show? Because what's been happening to me the last 2.5 weeks, and obviously Morgan being in Australia has something to do with it, but still, it's like I'm up till 6 a.m. I sleep an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. I get up, I walk around a little bit, I go back to sleep, hour and a half, 2.5 hours, and other than last night, I slept 12 hours. But I didn't sleep the night before. I didn't even go to sleep. Never shut my eyes. So, and I've heard some people talking about that, not being able to sleep, but also, not really being depleted physically.
So that what you just described, when I was coming off of my my psych pills, I went through a week of no sleep, but my eyes were closed and I was alert, but I felt so rested when I got up. If I got no sleep, but I had my eyes open the whole time, for some reason, when the lids are closed and you're able to kind of it's almost like a sleeping meditation. So your body is very comforted in sleep, but your mind is kind of in between the astral and the 3D, going off into dreams. But I felt as well rested as you can, coming off of like ambient addiction.
Explain that.
Well, just like, Ambien's a sleep drug. I've always had trouble sleeping my entire life.
Yeah.
But when I was starting the wake up process, I was having all kinds of health related stuff that I couldn't get to sleep, having panic attacks upon going to sleep. That is hell. Sleep is supposed to be your, resting period. You're supposed to be able to get there and, settle all this in dream time and get access to that. And I wasn't getting it. So I was mentally going crazy because I wasn't getting access to that realm at night, panic attacks and all that stuff. So it took me like, I want to say 8 years addicted to that. And my doctor was just giving it to me. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Addiction. that's, you know, because so this is another thing that's happened to me in the last 30 days, because I really didn't, I wasn't here that long after Morgan flew out. I was here maybe 2 weeks, so I didn't really get adjusted. You know, it's still, I was still dealing with, you know, kind of the newness of that. And but when I got back, I was pretty drained, and I was like nothing for 2 or 3 days. I couldn't do anything hardly. And then I started juicing. But what happened was I stopped one habit the day I left Sedona. And that's a long story. I won't get into it. And then started working on another one. And my appetite changed. I wasn't hungry. And so what I noticed was I was watching TV or trying to process or whatever. And what would happen is I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. And I'd get up off the couch and I'd start to walk to the kitchen, because Morgan will tell you I like to eat, but I'm not eating. So I'd start to walk to the kitchen and I think, well, what are you doing? You're not hungry. So like the first time or second time, I went ahead and gave in and ate, and I was like, ugh. And then I started to realize this energy is distraction. And it's not just a cigarette or a drink or a drug or sex. It's actually, and it's looking at the phone.
Attention.
It's not being present in a conversation.
Yes.
Because the telepathy is so high, it puts you in a state of distraction, because you know what I mean? This is kind of unconscious, conscious, this a blend. I don't really know how to explain it, but anyway, I noticed the rhythms of my behavior, and it didn't really matter what it was. It could be a lot of things, and we can all relate to this. You know, it could be a lot of things. And so I've just been sitting with that 2 ways. When I really understood it, what I did was not necessarily doing anything in particular, and I'm talking physically, literally doing it, but I went there and I immersed myself in it. All right. So I immersed myself in whatever the distraction was or has been in my life or whatever. And I just felt the energy of it. And I can't say, you know, like, oh, I'm out on the other side. I can't say that. What I can say is that I can see that I'm being instructed and guided, not judged. I'm just being guided. A lot of it has to do with the body, if not all of it. And so I'm getting that. And I'm also getting that I don't have to do it by myself. Whatever effort I put in, this universal energy is working with me and supporting me. And the potential of transformation is virtually immediate. So
that's so resonant with kind of what I was going through. Well, what I am going through, like in exactly what I need. And sometimes that is quite literally like junk food and Netflix, you know, and it's because I'm eating so much that I simply can't do anything else. Like I can't like sit there and like learn anything because my brain is like processing, or it feels empty. I call it banana brain. It's just like a mushed banana in the bottom of a backpack. Like it's that kind of vibe with my brain these days. And so, yeah, it's like, I know that like sitting down and eating junk food and watching Netflix are things I used to judge myself for. And it's just been such a like peeling off the layers of allowing that to be that thing that I actually really need. And honestly, like it's related to inner child stuff. I had a step parent who would force us to we weren't allowed to be kids essentially for a number of years in my life. And I realized that since I didn't learn how to be a kid, I'm sort of letting myself do that now. And just like, yeah, giving my, you know, inner little Christy whatever she wants. And it's not in an indulgent way is what I've noticed. It's what I need to do to get her kind of back on my side. because I've betrayed her for so long. She was so repressed from all this abuse that I'm just like kind of letting her like tell me what she needs. If she wants to like eat a pizza and watch a Silence of the Lambs, which is what I was doing earlier, then that's what that's what we're gonna do. And it's and it's not in an indulgent way. It doesn't feel like that energy. It feels like a very much like she needs
Loving,
loving yourself. And it's like it seems like, you know, to someone that's maybe not in like, oh, hello.
I gotta go. Sorry, bye.
Oh, you have to go?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye. I love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye, Susan.
Yeah, it's almost like just honoring exactly what she needs so that she will be on my side and not like grind her heels in the mud and say
hang on. I'm sorry, but I do believe we're about to be graced with the presence of Bruce Fischetti, who is the number one comic and actually one of the long supporters of Soulogy. So is that you, Bruce?
Lurking in the shadows.
Oh my God, are you serious? He's alive. He's real. I thought he was like Q.
I thought he was fake.
I mean, I can't believe that we're looking at you. So your level, you know, some people have that gift where they can be like funny, satirical, on the edge, but they've got this intelligence in their humor that's just, and that's how I see you. So what have you been doing?
It's two-way. It's a two-way street, you know. I just laugh all the time. No, I do the same thing as all of you. It's just comforting, you know, not to have to do it alone. You all acknowledge everything I'm going through, and that makes it bearable. And I'm enjoying most of the time as a result, you know. I don't know. There's nothing to say.
But you said it.
You said it. Yeah.
I can't see how do you see the big picture? I don't want to be highlighted.
You're not highlighted. It's all six of us on there.
That's how it was when I signed in on my phone. I could only see myself, but I couldn't see you guys.
But yeah, you're not everyone's seeing all six, just like you were watching it before. Yay for Bruce. That's what I say too. Britt Donnelly says that.
This is
and I have to ask you, have you connected with Violet Mellon? Because she seems to be the feminine counterpart to Bruce in terms of her humor, intelligent humor. Bruce, have you connected with her?
It's unspoken.
Okay.
We're obviously a team of some sort. Or a pair. We've been paired. In a way.
Yeah. And excuse the imposition. That's a yes. You answered that one too.
Well, along with all the rest of us, the pairing thing.
Yeah.
No, and just recently, like I think it was the day before yesterday, where I said I wasn't watching, I was listening and interacting. It was another dimension of the show that I experienced.
Really?
It was just all joy because there was no visual image to associate as myself or as you. It was like kind of just in some kind of neutral space, you know, without the visual.
Wow.
Yeah, the blind see things that we don't, perhaps, you know. But anyway, we're seeing beyond now.
There's a lot to be said for that, though, what you just said. Yeah.
I don't know what I just said. Tell me.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, so I'm a big believer, because you hear me say it, continue to add frequencies to ever expanding vibration, but there is something to be said when you take something out, because you can hear things that you couldn't hear before. You know, that's interesting.
Yeah, well, that's been removing everything from my life. Yeah, it's very painful, as we all know, to remove relationships, associations, identities. Yeah. I mean, what are we left with? You know, is only what I'm in contact with
in the moment. Yeah.
In the moment, yeah. It's all in the moment. I mean, this is a grace beyond my comprehension. Okay, it's all grace. It has nothing to do with me or intelligence. The language, I don't know. I guess tweeting with all the birds when I don't see them and having those conversations is the biggest joy I have. I just feel part of everything that way, in nature. I feel like what do they call it? My true self, my natural self, my true self being natural. Well, anyway, I want to hand this back on over to you.
I just want to. I have to ask you one question. How long have you been like this?
Since 73 or 4.
Since 33, 34?
1973 or 74.
Good God, are you serious?
Whoa.
Well, I was this way all through my upbringing. I was innocent.
Yeah.
Was spent in the woods and with my grandparents and stuff like that. So it was basically innocent. So I was that way all along. And maybe at 73, 74, I lost it actually. So I could find it again.
Wow.
I'm finding it. I'm able to reenact kind of my innocence. Reenact my innocence. And I left off at 19 emotionally, really, as far as relationships go and women and all that. I may have other perspectives on life, but I haven't experienced that yet, to where I can share this with another, and I think that moves us beyond the dimension of self to other, to be open to it. First, two people being open. I mean, what's to stand between?
Man, yes to all that.
Yeah, well, but this time I'm not all goo-goo. It wasn't you. It's all a projection of myself about my infatuations. I'll refer to them as such. I mean, it's just
I have to go, everybody. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I love you all. Have a good night.
Bye.
Yes, well, till next time. I can't believe I did this. I have no hair left anymore.
Well,
I didn't cut it off. I don't know how it came off.
Wisdom burnt it off.
All right, so I don't know. I guess I'll leave you I'll send you a contact. I guess things have gotten misplaced along the way.
Okay. Yeah, that would be cool.
All I was ever looking for was direct contact. Someone I don't know, to feel that part of myself acknowledged. By someone directly calling and having an exchange, a direct exchange with our hearts. That's all I was looking for.
Good gosh!
And I couldn't. We're here. Here we are.
He makes me laugh all the time. He comes on, and I feel like I'm about to start crying.
I know. Me too.
Well, I go through the same thing. It's a joy.
Yeah.
Those are my tears of joy. God. All right.
Boom.
So we'll see what the universe has in store for all of us.
Wow. Yes.
Okay. I love you all from the deepest recesses of my heart. I'm in recess all the time.
I'm Peter Pan. I'm looking for the playground.
That's the best place to be.
Thanks.
Oh, the kids, they used to line up. Oh my God. My favorite part was opening up milk cartons for kindergartners.
Is that what 5D is? It's recess?
I have this.
Yes,
I have
yes.
this memory that when we were kids in school in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, and we used to have this little janitor guy who was everybody's favorite, and we called him Mr. John, and he used to take this. What are these called? The haul crates. I can't remember
Oh, like a cart, you mean?
Yeah. So he used to haul milk chocolate to every classroom, and
Nice.
10 cents, for 10 cents, you could have a milk chocolate in the morning before school started, you know? And that's the memory that I have that he just brought up right there of opening milk cartons. And it was real innocent, you know? And everybody loved that Mr. John.
Yeah, I think the bus driver when I was in Catholic school, 2nd grade, he was the custodian also, and it was a blast. And my godfather, that's all he did, just volunteer at churches with kids, and that's all he just playing in the streets. Always got to play ball, you know. So this is all just a reflection of all my heritage, you know, my ancestry, and I don't want to refer to it objectively like that. Just recently, the last few weeks, yeah, I'm reliving my childhood with my grandparents, my parents, and all the good stuff is open to see now beyond, you know, those veils. Yeah, the veil's lifted. The veil is lifted. All right, guys, I love you all. Gals as well, more so.
Love you too.
Hey, it tickles my winkle. What can I tell you?
Oh God!
I'll be
Hey,
using that.
listen. Any one of you goes as long as I have without it, and you can talk with me about it. I'm only joking. You know, this cosmic orgasmic stuff. That's what sustains me through it all. And the relation, the orgasmic relations we have goes way beyond the physical. Yet there is something about being in physical form that allows us to experience ourselves in a way we wouldn't have had the chance to. So let's make the best of it, huh, people?
Right on.
Please.
Word.
God.
I mean, everyone deserves. I don't know who's lived as long as me and has had the chance to experience the love I have. I mean, everyone on the planet, I feel right now, the love. Okay, that's all I am. Okay, I'm just a representation of you all. Period. Okay, so take that for granted. Sleep on it. All right, catch you later, guys.
All right, Bruce.
Bye,
Thank
Bruce.
All right.
Love you. I'm
Love
always
you.
here. You can't get rid of me. I'm lurking everywhere.
Yes.
How do I turn this off? Help. No.
Here, I'll get it.
That was awesome.
Oh my God. Ooh.
Holy shit.
What
My
were you
skin
feeling,
is like on
Todd?
fire right now. I feel like I just got the spirit of a tree, like an old forest tree, like one of those like wise old growths. That's
Yes,
just like,
my ears were ringing. It was just.
Were they?
Yeah.
Man.
What were you feeling, Todd? Because you were like really getting.
I cannot recall in my life ever being in an energy, a man with an energy like that. I've read about it, you know, like in the Tales of Power, Carlos Castaneda, you know, the teachings of Don Juan or other things, but I've never actually experienced that. And not to mention many, many other things. But God, I mean, what can you say? Pure transparency. Pure transparency.
A lot of wisdom there.
It made my third eye like do some weird stuff and right below my heart. Yeah, I mean, just like you said, what can you say?
I have nothing to contribute.
Right, it's exactly. You're just going
stunned silence. Oh. Thank you, Bruce. In the comment section if you come back.
Yes,
wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. I noticed something too that, you know, people, we've almost got 3,000 shows bagged, and there's been like, you know, you just see a lot of things. And one of the things you see is somebody finally has the courage to come out, and then they do a show, and sometimes they get really excited and they're ready to do another one next week. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so it's the human part that, you know, all of a sudden didn't want to be out there and then gets all this energy coming at them, and it throws you. It's just like a download. But I pick one thing about him, and maybe it's because I've read so much of his words and I know what he means between the lines. But so much of what he just said, I got between the lines, and I got that he's ready to come out. But what I was getting at was, he's a person who I can tell he can handle whatever comes, you know, whether it be attention or whether it be a hardship or whether it be love or whether it be something else, right?
Hello again.
¿Qué pasa, señorita? God, that was huge.
Say, thank goodness he came early.
I know.
When can we come back? Oh.
I don't know, but we need to get him on. Your signals, Delia, the space cadet. Their signal is, your signal's not. God, that was just absolutely. You know, I got to say, since I got back from Sedona, I'm just starting to get going again. We're probably at about, I don't know, it doesn't matter, but every show has been totally different.
Some kind of magic, right?
Something's going on.
Yeah.
And God, I got this note. Let me just read it to you. Hang on. I got this note, and it kind of talked about it. I don't know if I can. Are you here? Delia, try talking. Let's see how you're doing.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So I think this friend of mine, this dear sister of mine, she wrote me a note, and she has this way of and I'm not going to mention her name because I don't really have permission yet. But
we'll guess.
We'll get it. No, I don't know. I don't think you'll be able to guess this. You might if you've been plugged into Soulogy for a while. But I would say this is Bruce in a feminine body.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, that's what I would say to that. Here it is. Okay. These shows continue to get better and better. Our beloved brother Franco was lit like a geomagnetic map. Did you see how calm and happy he was? There is a difference in him since he is back from Soulogy Fest. He is reignited with a spring in his step. And the look on his face when he talks to you is complete adoration and admiration. Mary Rodwell was incredible, and the show went on a different trajectory than ever before with her. See, I didn't even know she said that. And I told Morgan the same thing today. We got to experience a different slice of her work. She was in mode sharing messages from her team. Victoria Lillenquist, Yvonne, Missy Sue, Kirsty, Saraf Knight, Keith Hill, Robert Snedden, and the list goes on. Each one having more depth and expansion than the next. Are you noticing that? That is all a reflection, she says, of me, but it's like Bruce, from that perspective, what Bruce is saying. That this is true with the people. It's with the information and the expansion. The shows help us reach a deeper understanding of ourselves, which is what Bruce just said. Mm-hmm. The ripple effect of that is all over the globe! Exclamation point. The demographics of the people tuned into Soulogy It folds the globe over tenfold. I'm grateful. And she goes on and on. And I can't read it because I'll just start crying and shit. But her level of intelligence, and this is, I don't know, where'd Delia go? Is she gone?
Yeah, she popped out.
So this is a dear sister, beloved sister, and I met her at Soulogy Fest, and she's like Bruce. And you know, I can't go much further. I'm going to start. I mean, I'll stay on, but I can't really talk about it. But something's happened, and I know the show is just a reflection of everything going on. But I was telling somebody this like 2 days ago, and I said every show is better than the one before, and it actually is. And then I said, like, almost unconsciously, well, that's the way it should be, you know. So
think about where this first started, when you first got Soulogy on the air and where it's come now. Back then it was just getting the word out and a lot of rapping and SoulSpeaks, man. But now so
then I met Morgan, and she said, you know, you got to bring people on. It's not all about you.
We're going to clean up your act a little bit here.
Yeah.
And I feel I learned so much just with every show. I didn't have the vocabulary when I started. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, you know. Every show is that I've been able to watch has helped me kind of grow a little bit with some aspect in my life, whether it's tools to, you know, get yourself out of this darkness, whether it's meditation techniques, whether it's sacred geometry, whether it's, you know, trauma, you know. Dealing with all this stuff is not just me, but it's helped a lot of people, and we see them, you know. Hell, just in the month that I've known Christy as a friend, I've started to help get a lot of healing tips from her, from the stuff that she's been dealing with that I've been kind of hiding from myself on. So it's, you know, these little connections with these groups of people, all you guys on screen and in the audience watching, you know, someone has had some kind of positive effect on your healing or, you know, mental health, or maybe it's just an activation, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of activations, baby.
So many activations. It's like each person is like this wave of energy, this piece of the puzzle. But by the way, hello, Delia. It's nice to meet you.
Sometimes you don't even need to have them say a word to you, but just be in their presence and something goes off, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Delia, you good now?
That's some of the magic happens, is people that would do the work quietly. They're the ones that make the strongest impact. I had that experience as well.
She's an alien. Every time she comes on, I mean it. I met her in when we used to do it from Zoom, and she would always watch the shows in the Zoom room and would come up, Delia the Space Cadet. I didn't know what her name was. So I finally asked her to come on. There she is. She back? She's moving.
Yeah, no, right. It's my that I was working with earlier.
Oh yeah, I need to download that.
Yeah, before heading to Ghana, I saw a ship right above, and I was on the phone with one of the triplets, and I got excited because they saw something and it caught my attention, and I took a picture of it. But it was the frequency that I was connecting to. So I'm a little glitchy from that because I just came from the sauna meditation, and I had gone in for 5 minutes apparently, but it felt like it was 15. So it was very, very intense moments. But yes, even the people that do the work, in the quiet time are the ones that have the highest ability and power to really amplify the frequency. They're the ones that hold the frequency for many people, the pillars.
What she said.
Mm-hmm.
What she said.
So even in the silence, the meditations in silence, they're powerful because of that. We let the heart speak in the soul.
Jeez, I see a bunch of ETs in there. I saw it when I see. I don't know if y'all can't see my cursor, but oh my God,
when I send it to you,
I
there's
see
one
1, 2,
right above.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Is it moving, or are my eyes playing tricks on me?
Man, these days I can't speak for what used to be impossible has become impossible.
You know,
well, it's just kind of a thing too, is that I always seem to catch things in the clouds, shown a couple to Todd, and I'm sure they trip him out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. God. New Zealand's in the house.
Those sauna meditations sound incredible. I could just picture like the sweat dripping and just like you unlocking all these different like codes with your sweat and the people in the room just getting activations.
Well, sometimes I don't realize that I'm doing light language, and I do light language, and I got to the point that I don't give two fucks if they hear me, they don't.
That's powerful. That's got to be interesting too.
Well, there's some people that cannot handle the frequency, so I feel either I'm going to give them space, or they just are in their own thing that they might be projecting that Archangel Michael just pushes it away. Pushes the people away. Yeah.
Take it in.
Wow, there's so much. I don't have the lung capacity to take it in.
I'm just over here beaming with your beautiful faces.
But yeah, that's exactly what was happening with that silent meditation. I only had a few people on the screen, and even with the screen, each square was having so much stuff going on, so it was kind of hard to keep focus. Even on my own, I kept morphing in and out to myself, so it's interesting. And I think this is another level of witnessing, and I'm sure that many people that feel inspired are gonna do this or have little smaller groups and connect and just Zoom calls and just find that soul track, because it's coming even more stronger, more now than ever.
Yeah, everything is.
It feels like almost breaking down that third wall. You know, like if we were all actors in kind of a cosmic play, like Todd and, you know, the people on Soulogy have kind of been the actors on the stage, you know, doing their thing, like showing what they do. And now it's like people from the community coming out, like myself feeling like I'm coming in. And it's like, oh, now I'm in the play, even though I was always in the play. But
it gives you a little bit of courage to kind of step into that role, doesn't it? Seeing these stories, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just taking it in. I mean, this is what we're headed to. And what I was thinking about was what you said about the those that do this work, and no one even knows them. And well, at least for years they didn't know them. I met like 50 of them in Soulogy Fest. Literally, they all had the same soul. They all do the work. They don't want to be on stage. And they all had the look of, or the energy of, it's here. It's finally here, kind of thing, you know. But the reason I was thinking about that was because of the silence, and I was just thinking about how you can actually feel, like in this vortex, you can actually feel the collective energy, like you were talking about on the silent unification earlier today. You can actually feel it, and the people you're talking about, which were mostly women, unless it was Bruce from 1973, but they were doing this all along. They've been doing this all along. Sister groups, sisterhoods, some men involved. But what I was thinking was they actually believed in it. They actually did it. And it's a great example of how this stuff works. And what you were saying, Christy, when we first started about, I want to be here. I don't want to be out in the ethers. I want to actually be in this human body. And I think that, like that to me is just a great example. A great example of how this actually happens, how it actually gets anchored or embodied or whatever you want to call it. You actually do it. You just do it. Okay, you want to teleport? Do it. Go that direction or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Something incredible is happening this weekend. Something is really exploding this weekend. I don't know. Morgan's talked about it. Obviously it's July 4th weekend. I saw Sandra Walter shared one of her posts. July 4th through July 8th is this opening. She goes on to describe it, as Jason does and as Franco does and other people do, but something, like no other time happening right now, this whole weekend. And for Bruce Fischetti to come on after, we didn't really start pushing YouTube until January of 2019. There's 9,000 people in there now and never have really just throw the video up. And he's been on it since the beginning. And I've asked him to come on and he lost the email and I had no idea. I knew he was connected, but I had no idea how many more are like that we've never met.
That's the thing, right? A lot of people are going to start getting the push. They're going to start getting the push. And if they haven't, they're keeping and hanging back. But eventually they know too that they're going to get the push. That also the push to change life, work, everything. This is what I've been calling the face out. It's the in-between world. It's the in-between space.
Yeah.
I really resonate with that in between. I feel like I'm in this integration phase right now, and then it's going to, I get guidance that it's like August, I'm going to really make some massive changes in my life. And it's interesting. That's always kind of been like the game plan. It's like, I'm just becoming who I need to be for this,
I just have to say that's how I feel. Something told me once I got acclimated, come back to Sedona, so like say around the 10th or 11th or 12th, I realized I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here. And in August, that's when that's like almost like the foundations being, the integration, the contemplation, and then the action's going to come as the as the summer ends. And I just feel like for the summer, I can't even believe it's July the 4th. I thought it just feels like I left Soulogy Fest in Sedona 3 days ago. And I feel, but I've just, anytime I like pull up the summer and go, okay, I wonder what the summer's going to be like. I just kept seeing fire, and not in like, oh, it's going to burn me way, but just pure element of fire. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that too. I mean, up here in Canada, we had that crazy heat wave in the last like week or so, temperatures that we've never seen. And I was just pouring sweat this whole time. And all I kept hearing was detoxing, detoxing, detoxing. And last night I woke up. I've heard you talk about this before, Todd. I was soaking wet. I was like, my entire bed, like I haven't been sleeping under the covers, just like on top. 'Cause it's just too hot. But this didn't feel like heat. Like I was just hurting. And it was, I woke up just so sticky. I was like, oh my God, but also like, all right, this is fine. You know, just accepting where I'm at. Yeah. Oh my God. So, and it's just been happening today. It's like, I don't even, I'm like, either shower 5 times or just suck it up and don't shower. Just like, let it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, the other thing is too, that I've always, because we're all rebels, you know, every one of us is a stubborn soul, makes a stubborn human, you know, but people would say, oh, you need to do this, or, you know, you need to stop doing that. You need to eat this, or you're going to, it was no different. The energy of it was no different than me and all of us growing up in Western religion. And, you know, if you don't do this, you're going to burn in hell. And I'm like, fuck off. So there were things that I didn't really step into or embrace or even consider because of the resistance I had, because of the energy and the way it was presented. And what I like about what's happening, and it's got to be happening to everybody, it certainly sounds like it, like talking to all of y'all, is that what's happening with me, there's no resistance, but there's no pressure. And one of the things that I've really been conscious of since I've been back, as I've been juicing and, you know, looking at different things and looking at distractions and taking them on, or you know, immersing myself in them until I get everything I need out of it. I've been telling myself over and over, no matter what happens, no judgment. So I juiced for like 2.5 days when I got back. And then I'm driving down the road and I said, I want a fucking hamburger. You know, I'm going to Brahms. I'm getting some French fries, a shake, a jalapeno burger. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do this. I ate 3/4 of the burger, 4 French fries, a third of the shake, and I was good. And there was a message in that, and it was part of the way of knowing if you have a distraction is the overindulgence. So not to say that you indulge or you don't indulge. I'm just saying many of us, including me, or many, have distractions that became a representative of many of the other things that have taken our power away by our choice. And of course, when you start talking about addictions, you start to talk about an area that, from an energetic standpoint, it's not flipping a switch. I'm sorry. It's a step-by-step kind of thing, you know? And the non-judgment to me has been real big for me this past month, and I'm keeping it. I'm going to keep taking it with me. And I think that, you know, things like that and some of the things you're talking about haven't really been available until now. We had to clean the closet out, we had to get to a point of cleaning the closet out to start seeing what we're seeing.
Well, I mean, thank God for all the things we used to do to distract ourselves, because that's how we survived, right? Like, thank God for my cigarettes back in the day. Like, I don't know what I would have done without them. My nervous system didn't know how to do anything. So, like, thank you, ice cream. Thank you, cigarettes. Thank you, all the booze. Like, it got me to this point, and I didn't know what to do without them. Those were my tools, right?
Yeah.
Those were the things I needed. Those were the things we've all needed, you know. Pick and choose. There's so many different ways. They were like, and just like stories, like they helped us get to here. It's almost like bless our vices, bless our stories. You know, they were so helpful to get us to here until we could, you know, pick up new tools, pick up new stories, or like get rid of the stories altogether, you know?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Because okay. So I saw somebody write a post like this in Soulogy this morning, and it kind of gave me a little charge, and that's another part of it. But they were basically saying that the answer's not in a group or a modality or a person or a relate. It's not, and we know that. But what I think was missing, and I'm not in judgment, just my own point of view, my own experience, was we actually replace a belief system with another belief system. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, there might be, and there's nothing wrong, period, but there might be something that's not in our best interest that we level off and we just flatline, and we just don't go anywhere. We're just, we just stay. And going back to what Geraldine was saying, how do we know that that's not okay? Mm-hmm. How do we know that somebody says, okay, 75% of my life experience, I'm going to do 5D, and 25, I'm going to do 3D. I just want to plateau on these 25%. I don't want to be in the groove of expansion, and I'm just going to keep working on this other, who knows how it works. But yes, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with taking a belief system that is more, that's in alignment with my new awareness. And then when I wake up tomorrow, I'll go look for one that's bigger than this, that contains more than the one I just found.
Yeah, I so resonate with that. And I was talking to someone today about how I've seen so many people doing work in these different groups, and I learn so much from when I hear them speak about the work that they do. But every time I would go to join the group and start working with them, there'd just be this massive block. And my ego would get pissed off and be like, no, I need to be doing the best possible thing right now. But the best possible thing for me was always working through what I was doing, building my own tools, building my own things, in collaboration with what everyone else shared, and things I picked up along the way from other people, but not to go super deep into those groups. And then I'm like, but in August, I feel myself maybe starting to work more with like 0 pointing or something like that. And I actually purchased 0 pointing, and I haven't even really gotten into it because I went to go get into it and everything in me was resisting, and I tuned it. It was like, wait till August. And then this spring, sorry, not this spring, this summer, I've just been working with the energies and being present and using all of the tools that I thought were very basic. And I've been receiving powerful downloads, powerful healings, and understandings of how to deepen those tools and use those tools to heal myself, whether it be something just like affirmations, like I love myself in this moment, doing this thing. And so I guess the way I see it is it's kind of almost like I respect my natural progression now. Whereas before I used to judge that progression and think I should be over here. I should be doing this advanced work. I should be seeing these things or, whatever. Now it's more just like, oh no, I'm in it and I'm down. So yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah.
Sometimes the most spiritual can do is just like, I don't know, roll around in your own sweat and say, I love you, body. Like that's what I've been doing. I'm just like, I don't feel like I need to do anything other than just like really, truly love what is here, and sometimes that's just maybe not sometimes, all the time, that's perfect.
People, to have that conversation with your body, to speak to your body, to talk to your body in a loving kind of way. And I do some of the meditations all the time now. It's been to clear away the distorted energy in the gyms. You have to be a certain way. You have to be a certain specific thing. And people forget to really love their journey. If it's getting healthy, if it's getting however they wanted. The fixation and that distortion really needs to collapse. And not only is it collapse, but it collapses within self, learning how to love somebody, themselves, not somebody else, themselves, their whole vehicle that they're here for. Yeah. It's our activation, light body frequency. Everything is connected. All our energetic bodies are in this physicality, etherically connected in this physicality. And then until we get that, or people understand that, or begin to go through that journey, to each their own in how they do it, however path it is, it always leads to the same thing. And it has to do with honoring the self and the body. And the more that we get clear with what we want and what we desire with ourselves, in full compassion, because I have to do this, I have to do that. That's collapsed. That's been taken away from me. And this whole journey again to finding myself and loving the true reality of the journey is changing completely to a whole different aspect of loving all my aspects within myself. That's coming back online, and that's coming in now. And more the connection, however that comes in for people, it's going to be more powerful. And I think that's exactly what is coming in. More people talking about their journey in that aspect too. Like even hearing Franco and his process of everything that's been happening to him, from going to leaving Canada, going to Sedona, to even thinking and shifting that mentality from co-create. He uses that as an example, but you can take that same example and put that into work in anything, from what you want to create in your life, home, work, how you see life, creating anything. And like Todd always says, is you take it into the ethers, it's already there, and bringing it down and anchoring it. I mean, we're all finding our way in how to do that, but that's a beautiful journey. And exactly this right here, what we're having, and this connection with everybody, and how I see the shows, it really truly is bringing a better expansion for everybody to connect. Just like how I see Robert and Christy expanding more, and I love to see all that joy that everybody comes on and see that purity of the heart.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Jeez, man, a lot of mic drops going on. Bruce set the standard with the mic drops.
Hello. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, I'm back.
You have the talking stick.
Yeah, it's your go.
R.A. What the hell is that? What is that?
It's a back scratcher.
It's a back scratcher.
The talking claw.
So yeah, so when I was like overweight and out of shape, I was lifting and my muscles were not loose. I couldn't lift behind my back to scratch it. Now I can. I like this little thing.
You gotta train Mitzi to get her claws going. She can scratch you.
Oh yeah, she does. She does.
So sweet.
What are y'all talking about?
Deep shit.
You know, it's the same thing like your journey, seeing your journey in expansion, loving your journey in health, sharing it to the world. It helps everybody else out. And then he's also the meme dealer.
Oh, the dealer. I got some high quality memes, you know.
You do have some. It's become a regular feature of my day.
You know, I have people that supply me with my memes. You know, they go out and pick them for me, and you know, I distribute them for a very low cost across the interwebs.
Did you see Morgan's flirting with you, Todd? See that? I'll
You know
scratch.
the funny thing is, before I saw that comment and I saw that back scratcher, I was gonna say I need to get one of those long brushes for the shower, you know, where you
I got one of those too.
And then I thought of Morgan. And I was actually gonna make a comment about Morgan scratching my back or washing my back, but I didn't want to interrupt. So there she is. There's the telepathy right there. There's the oneness right there.
I love it.
Yeah.
a lot of people putting out really, really good stuff, you know, and we're talking about how's the show changed since Sedona, which is just a reflection of the whole energy, right? People are just being more transparent. They're comfortable in their own skin. Like Delia was talking about at the like at the gym.
Mm.
They're comfortable in their own skin.
It's inspiring too, you know.
It's
really inspiring.
It will illuminate the hell out of shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that's comfortable in their own skin can do anything for a living. They don't even explain to you how they feel about themselves. You know what I mean? They just are comfortable in their own skin. And I go back to the Soulogy Fest. I'm telling you, Delia will tell you. I mean, there was 80 women out of 100, and they were all. I mean, I can't even. I don't know what the number was, but they were all comfortable in their own skin. The vast majority of them. It was an energy that I'd never seen to that level. You know, it's pretty cool.
I saw some of the pics from Delia on her page, and it was pretty powerful, you know. Hopefully next time we'll get to see the Soulogy Fest. We're kind of under house arrest over here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
you kicked it off though. That's what needed to happen, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah. Yeah, it was right at the right time. But I think everything, you know, a lot of people, that's what's happening. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. There's just a massive convergence. And you can't even use a singular, it's plural. It's like concentric circles. There's just all these points of intersection in the cyclical path that we have, you know, the spiral, and they're just exploding. Like it's multidimensional. And yet we're becoming more comfortable in our own skin as human beings, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the coolest thing. That's the coolest thing. There was a dude that came up at the Chocolate Tree on Sunday when we had an after festival gathering, and I was about to start the show. I had some music going, and he came up to the stage, and I said, "Do you want to freestyle?" I just figured that's what he wanted, and he said yes. And he tried 3 or 4 times, and he did good. And then he would stop and go, "Oh man, messed up." And I just said, "Man, you're in an atmosphere where everybody's supporting you. You got nothing to lose. Look at these faces out there." And then he busted out. Yeah. He busted out two verses that were just like mind blowing. Like we were all going, "Holy shit!" I just gave him the mic back. I said, I can't compete with that." But it was a great example of what Delia was talking about. You know, of these people stepping up now. Mm-hmm. And Morgan and I were talking about this earlier today, and I don't remember the other part of it, but I was saying, you know, to me, what I'm noticing, it's the atmosphere. If the atmosphere is created, or the vortex, or whatever you want to call it, then it just brings on that stuff. But like if we go, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to make this happen, it doesn't work. Or let's get organized and you do this and you do that, and we got to do it this way. But when that atmosphere is just, you know, nothing's really prefaced. You know, there's no predication. There's no planning. You just come and you get together and you go, okay, let's go. And everybody's comfortable in their own skin, you know, which is, to me, again, that's the best thing of it all. You become a love ass when you can't scratch your own ass because love can't be owned. True.
Put that on a bumper sticker.
Yeah, it kind of, I did a live a little bit ago talking about this whole idea of how in our culture we have this, like, people are allowed to play in certain settings. So kids were taught you're allowed to play in the sandbox, or you could play in this room. And then, you know, when you get older, it's like you can play kind of in like a sport. Like if you're in a sport, this is how you're allowed to play. But it's like as children, we always knew how to just pick up these roles and go with them. Like we could just like be an actor in our favorite show and just play out our interpretation of that actor, and no one needed to tell us to go. No one needed to tell us to do it. Same thing with singing or being a rock star or a rapper or whatever. And I feel like people forgot that, but we can still do it. And you don't have to take a class. You don't have to pay. It's like, if you just want to do it, you can literally just start doing it.
You don't have to get a degree. You can just start doing it.
Yeah.
It's your love.
Yeah.
I saw this thing today. Judith Kuzel shared it. It wasn't her words, but did you see this?
Yes.
It spoke to me. It spoke to integrating polarities, but obviously there's a gender, or there's a divine union type of frequency. But this is all divine union. The external is our twin flame. That's our partner. Everything external of us, right? I mean, let me read it to you if you didn't hear it. So it's out. The author's unknown. He is absolute freedom, and she is absolute love. Love found herself rejected by freedom, and freedom found himself imprisoned by love. And love without freedom is attachment, and freedom without love is escape. They turned away from each other, both searching for enlightenment outside their own shadow and pain. And both love and freedom felt lonely, and they didn't feel received. Because love is nothing without freedom, and freedom is nowhere without love. But love needs to dive deep on her own. And freedom needs to show up for himself, to remember the truth of who they are and connect in their own sacred source. And instead of falling apart, then they fall together in unity. I just thought that was powerful.
Wow.
I mean, I was just like, whoa. Like that's just like, that's it.
I felt that.
I mean, really. I mean, that's just, to me, that spoke to everything, like every single polarity. And I just love the way the way they dance with the metaphor of freedom and love and the literal. I just thought it was cool.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Yeah, as soon as I started reading it, I was like, it felt like a twin flame thing for me. It just reminded me of like my beginning stages with my twin, where he wanted freedom and I just wanted love, and we would like do that pushing and pulling shit. And it was, as soon as I started reading that, I was like, oh my God.
Isn't that
I
crazy?
get it now. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy though. But if you think about it, yeah, because I always understood that, when you get right down to it, regardless of whatever the situation is, love is free. Love is freedom. And if you really love somebody or something, that's that enigma of surrender and unconditional love and all that. But when you consider what freedom is to love is to freedom, then that's pretty cool. Because you know what I mean? Because like freedom represents to me love, and I was really cool. I thought it was cool, or for me it resonated that love was her. Okay, her being creation itself, right? Like so creation is creation. Creation doesn't need to create anything; it's already created it.
Can't be controlled,
right? But then you have creation, which is freedom, which is, let's just say in this case was the masculine, which I think that fits because the masculine's a creator, and it's in that relationship with creation that what that poem was saying occurs. I just thought it was so. Whether it's inside of us or whether it's something external of us.
Thinking back, now where I am at, I couldn't imagine ever not wanting someone I love to feel free. Before, when I was operating from a wounded place, I wanted them to just be there, meet my, attachment wound needs, and saved me in all the ways. But now I couldn't imagine loving someone and like I said, not letting them be free or not wanting them to be free. It's not even about, it's just about, I want them to feel free. And that to me is just such a loving thing to want.
That's self-love, because you know that you love yourself, so you can let someone else, kind of have their own
It's
joy.
the same thing too, is that knowing that your joy is not dependent on your joy.
Yeah.
That for you to have joy, it's like, hey, you know what? I'm in joy even if you do not enjoy within myself, because my joy is not dependent on you. Mm-hmm. And if they don't understand, because attachment, people believe in attachment, and they don't get that, is that really that person you want to be with? Mm-hmm. Because they don't understand that part, that your freedom and enjoy is amplified by sharing joy with another person.
And someone that hasn't done the inner work doesn't want that to happen. You can't have joy without me in your life. It's bullshit.
Exactly.
Oh, that person. Oh my.
I have too.
I think everybody has.
I've been on the other side.
Human conditioning.
Yeah.
That we're taught through our parents, through our experiences, and what they've experienced, and projection to your life. And we've taken it to other relationships, and it's just like, do I really want that? No. So to choose to be alone, to choose to have that, I'm going to love myself. And I always say, I'm married to myself. If somebody's going to come into my field, they have to understand that my marriage to myself and to my source energy is more important than connection. It has to know that there is amplification into that. Going, hey, I am here for a mission and I came here for something. I'm going to do that and go 100% full into it. And whatever mission that connected union is something different, that they have to also do their work. It's not, I'm going to level, you're going to level alongside me. It's inner work independently.
Heal yourself so you don't push away whoever is supposed to be sent to love you.
Exactly.
Or to be in your life,
Okay. So my brother, I think that's yes. But the thing is, if you bring yourself into higher alignment, first of all, there's no regard. I mean, certainly you can have inspiration and motivation, but you're doing it for yourself. I mean, like Delia was talking about a potential partner. She was talking about herself. She was talking about, this is me. So my connection to me is the most important thing, because, and that's saying what you're saying, which is, I want to give you the best I am. Sometimes they fall away, and it isn't because we didn't do something right. It's just because maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's the frequency of that person wasn't matched because the elevation wasn't matched. I mean, who knows how it works? But I saw another meme that I thought was pretty important right now, because there's this whole thing about people standing in their power, and you see a lot of people making stands and taking, and it's not like the projection that we saw over the years in the light work communities. It's literally a stance of sovereignty that has some shadow. So it's okay, but I saw this quote, and it said, honesty without kindness is mean-spirited or something, immature or something. And then
I saw that one too.
And then kindness without honesty is manipulation, right? And so basically, I thought that was, for me, it was a good one, because like, when do you say something, when do you not? And then also the other side of it, what are you saying that you're not being honest about? Because this is where the pressure is coming from, or partially, not in a bad way, but in the pressure cooker, not in a bad way, that's happening, because you hear about Christie's sweating her ass off and all this toxins are coming out of her pores. I'm having the same thing. I mean, it's happening physically. It's also happening, in like things like that that I just talked about. And then like Tammy just mentioned boundaries. How can something that's boundless have boundaries? So some of these things that are working for us and that are helping us take a few more level ups, they got to go too. They got to go too. They only work for so long,
Yeah, it's like you learn how to hold yourself in your integrity, in your authenticity, and then you can let those boundaries go.
There were crutches. Yeah.
Crutches.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I needed those crutches. I needed those boundaries at first
yeah.
Training wheels, right?
Sure. Especially if you've never had them before in your life,
Yeah, well, yes. So empath 101, right, through 109.
Welcome to class, everyone.
Yeah.
Boundaries.
But I think one of the big reasons that we've had an intrusion on our boundaries, so to speak, has been because we were patterned, and it became second nature to respond.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have to respond to anything? Is there, this has been coming on in the last few months. People talk about it. Somebody sends you an email or a message and you don't respond, and then they send you another one because they're upset.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't respond to the first one, is what I've found. Don't respond to the second one. And eventually, A, they fall away. B, they fall away and come back. And so to speak, or you reconnect. I just have received a message from a friend that we kind of went our separate ways, and he reached out, and he was honest, and he just said, this is what happened, and I'd like to reconnect. And I didn't have any, oh, I told you so, or I'm right and I'm all smart and clever, and I don't know, he's probably more elevated than I am, and I don't think I'm anything extraordinary, but I'm just trying to make a point. I end it this way. I saw somebody talking the other day, and they said, I'm really tired of people saying that other people are not awake. They said a couple of different examples, and they said, here's another example. How do any of us know what these people are doing in what we call dream state?
Mm-hmm.
They might be kicking ass and taking names, and they're so fucking tired by the time they land on Earth and are consciously awake that they don't want anything to do with 4D or 5D or 6D or 99D. They just want to be in 3D and be asleep. I mean, it's plausible.
I remember Jason Estos saying in a past video, like a while ago, he was saying, you don't know what those people are stepping into. So it's like we have these massive selves that are much more than what we're experiencing right in this moment. Like you have this multi-dimensional self, you have all these past lives, you have all this experience, and you're just playing out like this one life of all of this, stuff, and you're very focused on this one thing, and you're like, you're pissed at this person. And then it's like, once you let that go, that thing that you really needed to focus on, that karmic contract that you needed to end, now it's like rocket ship. You're just taking off, and all of a sudden this person is this really big being, and you had no idea. You were just like shitting on them because you thought that they were lesser because they were mean or something.
Hmm.
Well, and like, how do we really know what's best for someone else? We don't, like, we don't at all. Like, we can offer, if someone comes to me and asks me for specifically, like, I would like your advice, that is the only time I offer it. Otherwise, I don't know what your journey is. Maybe you're here to do something, and who am I to say? I don't know. So there's no point in offering, like, this is what I think you should do. That's just for me. Like, I if I'm asked, because there's just, I don't know. It's their journey,
Yeah. Yes. And because it's like, is it even our business? Why is it our business? Who the hell do we think we are to intrude? And that comment that I just put up, that Morgan put up about and this is energy, not just the physical exchanges, but the overgiving, overtaking. Most empaths can totally identify with overgiving and being a doormat. But we also have patterns, just like an empath, a full-blown, super sensitive empath has narcissistic energies as well.
Yeah.
You know, we all do. And so, you know, like understanding, like the way she just put that these are all descriptions of what's been our, our reality of relationships, which has basically been codependent. Oh, yeah. And that was, as she said in that quote, that was our understanding and definition of love. So there we are chasing something that we're never going to get.
We're pretty much programmed that since the beginning.
Of course it has.
Our parents.
As soon as they said God was a man,
yeah,
it starts there, or it starts with.
Or in school, you know.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, there was a bit of a drag.
It all starts like with our parents first, and then we get indoctrinated in school about, you know, imagine if they were teaching us how to deal with our emotions, you know, at that level. Christy just roll off screen.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh no, she's good.
That was Oscar worthy.
Yeah, it was the exit. It was the roll.
It was the roll. Everybody start practicing.
Thank you guys. I'm a body
just
for a week.
Like that meme of fading into the bush, you know. that was my high school. That was my whole high school experience.
Yeah.
I was just on the wall. You know?
Of course.
Wow, thanks guys for noticing. I thought that was wow.
So, like, there's a couple of good comments here. One is, where did it go? So, Katie Ann, she says, codependent was me. The last relationship over 6 years ago was for 8 years. I don't think, in fact, I don't know of anybody, and I know a couple of really, really couples that I looked up to even as a kid, you know, friends of mine, parents. But seriously, anyone that's been in a relationship of any length of time, be it 5 years ago or 15 or 20 years ago, it was all based on codependency. The love, the desire to love and give and receive love, I don't think is in question. The problem was, you know, it's like you're trying to enter like an off-road motocross race, and they give you a tricycle. Like, how are you ever going to win that race or even complete it? You know, you wheels, so you're different. You pedal instead of, you know, hit the gas. I mean, there's just, so now here we are, and we're starting to figure out what love is.
You got to trick out your tricycle.
Yeah.
Trick out your 2-strand DNA until it becomes 3-strand, or I don't know, whatever.
I saw where you were going with there.
Yeah. So,
well, codependency is just like, it's not just in relationships. It's like, well, I mean, all of interaction is relationship of some kind, but so people being in each other's business about masks and injections and stuff, like we're so codependent on what, like, in somebody else's business. Like, I need to make sure you are following the rules, and it's like, you know, for me it was a distraction from looking at my stuff by trying to busy myself in somebody else's stuff. So like, well, their problems for them, sort of their stuff, like, oh, let me do this. And it was just a way to avoid myself, because it was terrifying to face myself. So it was just easier to meddle and, like, you know.
Wounded healer archetype is wounded healer archetype is an addiction. And you're right. It's but see, the codependent, let's just say, template, it's the entire thing. It's in its entirety. The patriarchal matrix in its entirety is codependent. So that's why I don't pay taxes. That's why I don't get a stimulus check. You know, I mean, I'm not saying this is the way to go for people. What I'm trying to say is that the whole thing's built that way. If you pay your taxes, you're a good person. If you pay your taxes, we'll protect you from in war, you know, or we'll provide you social services. And the whole thing's just become this multi-dimensional quagmire that's just being disassembled very rapidly. And it's almost like as when the dust settles, we're going to be what's standing, right? I mean, that's really what it's going to come down to.
I almost wonder how much of that is consent, like paying your taxes or voting.
All of it's consent.
It's 100%.
All of it.
That's 100,000,000,000 zillion%. Every single bit of it is 100%.
You've been sold consent in movies, in TV shows, in all kinds of commercials, advertising. Just buying the ticket to that movie, you've given them your consent. You know. So that's why we're going to have aliens coming in the next couple of months, because we've already consented to that.
Could be.
Yeah, because they're the ones landing, right? That's the ones we're supposed to trust. The ones that are landing, not the ones that are already here, connected.
You know what's cool is I watched a bunch of movies. I tried to really parts of movies. A lot of on YouTube. I watch like movie scenes even, and you go back and watch stuff that's like from the 80s and the 90s.
They were setting you up for this.
Even the early 2000s.
Yes.
Not just that. Yes, you see that. You see the programming, and it's so blatant.
It's so blatant.
It's so blatant. It's like in your face, and it's amusing. I'm laughing on the couch, just going, "Oh my God!"
You're supposed to fear these people that are coming in here to enslave you, even though the enslavement's already happened.
Yeah.
And even just like watching movies like rom-coms, like seeing how all the way that love is supposed to be, it's just like, I fell for that. You know, it's just so funny to look back. Like not in a judgment.
Disney movies are the ones that we have for programming that too. Yeah. From a very young age. Cartoon. The princess, the prince has to save the woman. That right there, the programming that goes into that.
Exactly. Those fairy tales convinced men to go to war on behalf of their wife and their children and their country. And at the end of the day, it's not, somebody mentioned something about watching Silence of the Lambs. I found myself this past 30 days, I would go into, I don't normally watch like a horror movie or a dark movie. I might watch some dark intelligent movie, a dark comedy, but I started watching this movie I used to watch when I was younger called Zulu, which is a classic movie. It's based on a true story. And from there, you know how YouTube is, you finish watching the clip and then you get stuff like it. So I'm watching all of these docs and movie scenes. And one of the things I walked away with, and because I mean, you saw it, was they didn't give a shit about the men. Nothing. They didn't give a shit if they died. Like as an example, somebody says to the general, "Hey, we can't send, those 100 guys in there. There's 2,000 of them, and they'll be decimated." Well, it'll slow them down. Do it anyway. Or they're peasants. Do it anyway. Or you see cannons going off, blowing up their own people. I mean. It's just we bought it hook, line, and sinker, and we're now unveiling, I guess, or removing all the levels of Stockholm syndrome, and that Stockholm syndrome too is being even further amplified through this COVID and quarantines and all that bullshit.
I'm actually grateful for everything happening because it's honestly pushing so many more people awake. So not awake, but you know what I mean? Like aware, I suppose. Not
join us. Sometimes it feels like that when you go to a spiritual community though. They're like, come join us. Like,
what we did just talking about cults earlier. Please join our cults. We have Wi-Fi and nachos in the back.
Send 3 pounds of chicken wings if you join
Yes.
today.
We have a free membership right now.
This one. Did somebody leave? Oh no. This is Morgan. The fractured human is as important as the multidimensional self. The fractured parts of the human are a reflection of the multiple aspects of separation coming together. So, unified as one. Currently experiences at this moment. So there is, somebody was talking about this earlier. There is this unification that's happening while we're splitting. Like the splitting is a symptom of the unification. And whoever it was, I think it was Geraldine.
Yeah, Geraldine.
Right. And there's something to that. It's like, it happened to me day before yesterday. I split like 6 times I was on a friend of mine's show, and I split 6 times during the show. And it was that whole thing you were talking about, Christy, where your higher self standing next and you're having these conversations. Hey, observe this, observe that. Don't be in judgment. That's you're looking at. No separation. Hold that up. And while the whole thing's happening. But that was Geraldine. She said, you're splitting, but you're unifying, basically, is what she said.
I feel like someone should applaud you for keeping it together. That's a lot.
What's that?
Oh, splitting that often during shows, I can only imagine the experiences you must have.
Well, it doesn't normally happen like that. But that one was a really, really weird. I told Morgan about it. It was. I'm even feeling weird sitting here talking about it. It's making me feel weird. But that was pretty weird. That was crazy. It was crazy. In fact, I told her what Christy said. It's like they're standing side by side, right? And I've had many cases where my higher self was like looking at my human, but this was different. This was like a split, and they're both running at the same time. And the result of it was that when I was talking to the host, about 5 or 6 times, I totally lost my train of thought because I was somewhere. I was trying to figure out, because it was kind of a different. A different atmosphere than Soul Speaks 5D. It was it was a whole lot different, and I couldn't connect. Did you see that? Well, I couldn't connect, so I had to throw that out. And now I'm going, well, how's the higher self going to engage this? And I couldn't do that, so I would start talking, and then I would just go off somewhere else, and then I'd lose track of everything. So,
the triplets had a conversation about that. We're like, oh, this is interesting.
Who's that?
The triplets had a conversation about it because we can see it.
Yeah, it was real. To me, it wasn't like an ordeal, but it was like it was more like I don't know, a download in the flesh. So it wasn't so much an ordeal. It would have been if the intel hadn't come in. But to Robert's point, it would have been more of an ordeal, like that knocked me on my ass. But there was this intelligence that came with it. But I still had to sit down and go, wow, what the hell just happened? I was like, this happened in the evening, and I didn't really get a grip on it probably for 24 hours. So, but to me, this is like the Amanda Smith show or earlier on this show. To me, this is a physicalization of the transformation itself, of those splits on the way to the unity, right? I mean, these are the things that we're talking about now. Now, what does it feel like? How do you feel? I love the one, like since I got back from Sedona, be they somebody who's got a huge presence or a small, or coming out for the first time. There's something going on with what they're bringing to the table. There's something different. Like I can't explain it, but it's very down to earth. That's how I put it. Very down to earth. They're not with an agenda kind of thing going. It's just it's just a down to earth. It's like this, you know, like a conversation. Let's see. We're in here 2, 3, 4. I'll wait till it gets. It's 2 hours, 34 minutes, and 45. I'm sorry. We have to wait till 56. So it'll be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Let's see. How does this go? No longer needing to externally observe. Feels like instantly experiencing these moments much easier, going through it, experiencing it, and observing it. Yeah, I think who was talking about this earlier? Somebody was talking about this earlier tonight, but it's like it all happens at the same time now, virtually. It's not like you're laying on your back for 3 days trying to get over a trauma like we did, in the past.
In the beginning, yeah. It's starting to happen almost instantaneous now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be like a hot minute. You're in it, and then you're like, I know this is, I'm gonna get through it, and then boom, it shifts.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do a soul speak with that. It's like in a hot minute when you're in it.
Boom, it shifts.
Yeah, right.
That's a hot song right there.
Well, we should do this. We should do this again. We should do it again.
Yeah, this was great. Felt like hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
I always learn a lot, whenever, whether it's just listening to any one of the conversations. And that's what I like the most about them is they are conversations. It's not just like someone shooting their
marketing. Yeah, I had a very good friend of mine from Sedona. Well, I say good friend. I consider everybody a good friend, but I'm going to come on the show. I've got something coming up. It just doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. And it's not a Soulogy thing, I don't think. I think it's just these things just aren't working anymore. People are seeing through. People are seeing the truth, basically.
Right. Well, I was going to put my hand up and say, not that there's anything wrong with it coming on for marketing and talking about if that's your thing, but you kind of squashed that.
Well, see, this is the thing. It's funny that you say that though, because once I hear that, I tune out. Like my body does not even hear it anymore. I tune out.
Yeah.
I'm only present, and most of the time I have you, all of you guys, whenever somebody's talking, if it's either Todd or Franco, I have them in my ear while I'm working. Thank God for long hair, hiding my earbuds, and just listening to the frequency and the tune into it. Just being in it just really, really does help with what's going on. And I'm like, oh, this connecting the dots. But once you start going with spelling something, I just tune out. I just bounce because it's just my energy does not. I can't take it.
Your voice is doing some weird stuff again. Anybody else hear that?
Energy.
No, she sounds fine to me. She sounds normal to me.
Oh man.
What must be the energy that's coming up? Well,
Yeah.
Ganesh has been going over to you, so I don't know. Maybe.
I haven't had much experience with what is that? The Indian. The only thing that ever happened was with Morgan one time, 2-3 years ago, and she like morphed into like a couple of different things, but one of them was this blue. I guess I don't know. It was a blue Indian with like 8 arms.
I love these Morgan and Todd stories where they start shape shifting and stuff like that. It's like, man,
it's usually her. It's not me, except for that one time. But yeah, we've had some. Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like, I don't think that any of us, I think we're starting to, but I don't think we've given ourselves enough credit, not just for showing up, but when we think about the things that have come from the day that we said something's going on here with me, and you start to honor it, and then the shadow work and the 0 point and the whole thing. I don't think we really give ourselves enough credit for that, because it is a minority, and not to make us any better or anything, but there's something to be said for doing something that's not been done.
But that's why I like how you start your show off, Todd, is because, you know, when someone comes on and you know nothing about them, you used to say, I don't know if you still do it, but you used to say, how was your first, or tell me about your ascension, or when did you wake up? Because everybody's got their own personal, mine's different from yours, is different from Robert's, is different from Christie's. And the stories, you start to find these little similarities, you know?
Yeah.
It's very interesting, and I mean, it's what I needed to hear at the time, because I was going through stuff I couldn't explain.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember you came in with the flower of life.
Hi, Jamie.
That was a good start. Yeah, it's Jamie. Well, maybe we'll do this again tomorrow.
Let's do it.
Maybe.
So Delia, I've got some things that I was trying to sell. Would you be interested in I want to see how committed she is to not giving a shit about sales. I think I could really sell her something. Oh, sorry, Mom. I gotta go.
Yeah. What? Hello?
Ryan, give her a coupon code.
Oh,
half off on memes.
Half off on
memes. All these memes gotta go.
These monies is to support my meme farm and all the kids working on it, man. They need to eat.
Non-GMO.
I can't just be feeding them memes all day. They get...
Memes are my sustenance right now.
Right.
You're covering the mic, Chris.
Oh shit. Sorry. Never mind.
Something about sustenance and
it's okay. I said these memes are my sustenance. I have no desire to eat anything except consuming your memes.
Picturing Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Arr, arr.
Oh, here's an interesting one. Kayla, she says she had a mind-blowing experience remembering pre-birth being in the light. So she's fully conscious and in the womb.
Whoa.
And then she split into 3 consciousnesses.
Wow.
So she was the infant coming out of the womb, being welcomed by Yeshua. And then she was the present moment 32-year-old self standing next to Yeshua, watching herself being birthed. And then she was, the third one was higher self.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice to meet you, Robert. Thank you, Jen, everybody. So, yeah, we should do this again. It's 2:00 in the morning. And I think, how long have we been on? 2 hours and 45 minutes. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good show, I'd say.
So fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Oh, she had that 29 years ago. She's 61.
Wow.
Ooh.
This is crazy. And Bruce saying 1973.
Bruce, oh my God, that was the same show. It felt like years ago. Oh my God, what is
and then they have to hold on to those memories and consciousness and wait till, you know, the next ground crew comes in to hold down the light. That's exhausting. Gotta be.
Yeah.
Unless you just embody it and know it. And
yeah. But you see people like Mary Rodwell and Franco yesterday, and even Victoria Lilliquist yesterday. These people, been doing this for so long. Franco's 1987. Victoria's,
and without all this media stuff to covering.
Yeah, and so now you see the look on their faces. Now they're in joy, they're in bliss because all that has come to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool. I love you guys.
Love you.
Appreciate
Love you.
I love you
Thank
too.
you
Love
for
all.
thank you for making this happen, and thank you, Morgan Lee, for suggesting it because I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
I would not have done it tonight, but I'm really happy that I did. I think sometimes for me anyway, you kind of, that's why I like doing 3 shows a day, because it actually grounds me. It's not a smooth ride. You might split 6 times or something like that might happen, but it's so easy to go, man, there's so much integration going on, and I'm just not going to do anything. And I know that's okay, but I just find for me that this helps me a lot. So I'm really happy to do it.
It's got to, yeah.
Yeah. Violet Mellon. That's the Bruce, feminine version of Bruce on YouTube. She's awesome. Thank you, Violet, for always showing up. All right. We'll see y'all maybe tomorrow. Keep an eye out.
All right.
See you
Take care.
tomorrow.
Peace. Yeah, see ya.